What is going on, everyone? We're here. We're live incredibly randomly. We don't have that much longer before I have to be live over on Sports Wars, but we got a few things we need to talk about because some stuff happened today. We just streamed yesterday, and all of a sudden, there's still so much shit out there to talk about. We cannot keep up. It's literally impossible to keep up with everything right now. So we're going to go do a stream. We're going to talk about it a little bit, and we need to talk about Dave Chappelle because the man made a statement last night. The man made a statement in a very powerful way. Yellow Flash was actually there for that. Yellow Flash was in Nashville for it. I saw you put out a video earlier, but I want you to play what the man said himself so you can hear it. So you can hear from Dave Chappelle that he's not going to bend the knee to anybody. No one will be. He will not be summoned for anyone. And it's awesome stuff. Let's see who we got in chat here. Dozing Z is here. Subhuman. Michael Pronesti is here. Kaylee's here. My Nerdy Home is here. Subhuman. Mike Dangerous says, "Sup, Ryan? How's your money?" It's been busy. It's been busy. I did get to the gym, though, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. T-Rev, that music, though, it is good. Her in the Steadfast is here. Judicon's here. Time off. Hell yeah, sub. That's awesome, dude. Got me Chris Cos from yours and Gary's live stream. I probably won't be live long. Probably won't be live super long time at least. But I had to go live and talk about a few things. JJ52 here says Fauci lied. He did indeed. Go check out Patriot Outpost for more info on that. Gundam Wing Zero. Bill G. Cody Brianna Eastwood. What's up, bro? What's up? You got to put the work in to get those gains. Yeah, both in the gym and on YouTube. You got to put in the work. I agree with you. How many tabs can we expect? I'll be honest. I had to close a shit ton of tabs. I had to close a shit ton of tabs just so I could open up a shit ton more. I will show you guys. Trust me. You'll see the tabs. What was the Chappelle quote? I'm going to show you guys. We're going to go through it. That's going to be the first topic because I can't fuck around and mess around too long. I just want to give a couple people, 5 minutes to get into the stream, that kind of thing. Just a couple minutes to get into the stream because it was unplanned. I know we didn't have the 30-minute notification. So, gotcha. Living the tab lifestyle. I am indeed. The tab lifestyle is the way to go. And let me close that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm probably going to make a video about that later. Let's Go Brandon hitting number 1. That's insane. 2 separate Let's Go Brandon songs have hit number 1 overall. How insane is that? Legitimately fucking crazy. All right. That is good. We're good on that side. We're good on this side. Jess says Jay ran into a G&G fan at Universal. That's awesome. Incredible. Let's Go Elites, says Pyromania. Maybe. What's up, Trey? Do you group your tabs? Typically not. I typically don't go through all that fucking hassle to group them. I just do it all. And then I'm like, what do I need? Don't need that. As soon as I get done. Usually it's like, oh, I open this to make a thumbnail and open this to get a transparent background and all that stuff. It's kind of nonsense. Let us see. All right. Are you guys ready? I want to talk about this Dave Chappelle stuff. Let me share audio because we got to hear it from the man himself. Look at what the heck is that? Stop that. It's going crazy. It's flashing on me. There we go. All right. Put the headphones in here. Oh, man. This is awesome. I cannot wait for you guys to hear this because I have Steph clipped all of this audio that we are going to listen to because it's powerful. Powerful words from Dave Chappelle himself. Dave Chappelle has finally spoken out publicly after the massive controversy that has come from Netflix The Closer, from a small, insignificant group of people who are trying to get this canceled, trying to get Dave Chappelle taken off the air, and in fact, lying about Dave Chappelle, saying that they opened things up for a conversation, but he didn't want to respond. Dave Chappelle is setting the record straight and also telling everyone he will not be canceled. He will not bend the knee, and he will not be summoned randomly by a group of people that have no intention of actually listening to him. Dave Chappelle willing to discuss The Closer with trans community, but says he's not bending to anyone's demands. And instead of reading through the majority of this article from Variety, which talks a decent amount about what he said, why don't we just listen to the man himself? My Nerdy Home clipped this out. Dave Chappelle, you will not summon me. I'm not bending to anyone's demands. We got about 5 minutes of Chappelle here. This was in Nashville just the other night. And he addressed this, and I think he got a pretty good reception. Here we go.
It's been said in the press that I was invited to speak to the transgender employees at Netflix, and I refuse. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I am confused about what we're speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not?
And of course, that does set the record straight once again that no, they never reached out to him. They never reached out to him to speak, even though, so many people in this little trans protesting community fucking lied and said they did. Well, we tried to reach out to Dave, but he had no interest in speaking with us. We're just perpetual victims. Well, again, he's calling out for your bullshit right there, calling you out.
You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore.
Fair point.
I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames this, that it's me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say.
And I think that is important. And when it comes to this, I always say, when I do every one of these videos, I say a small, insignificant portion of this community, because that's what it is. They had a couple Netflix employees and around like 100 trans activists who are actively trying to suppress speech, actively trying to get one side, one group of people kicked off of platforms over things that they do not like. They should not be listened to. Netflix should not bend the knee to them. None of these companies should be bending the knee to them. It's not about an entire community, but it is about bad actors within that community.
For the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know from that community has been nothing but loving and supporting. So I don't know what all this nonsense is about. In summer 2020, when the whole world shut down, I was outside doing shows. My neighbor had a cornfield and he let me throw shows there, and people came from all over the country. Some people came from around the world to see those shows. The best comedians on earth came to my home and broke bread with me. And we lived our lives. We found a way to keep moving forward. I made a whole documentary about it. The first night of those shows was a piece that some of you might have seen. It was called 846, and it dealt with the murder of George Floyd.
And that's also something interesting. Dave Chappelle's not someone who shares his political views or some views on social issues with a lot of people that you would traditionally think of as conservative or anything. Dave Chappelle is very much liberal when it comes to most things. However, the idea of free speech, the idea of jokes, the idea of calling things out, the idea of making comedy, right? That is universal. That's why so many people are standing up for what he says, because regardless of what his political opinions may be, he should be allowed to speak his mind without fear of cancellation. And that includes jokes, and that includes jokes about trans people. Here's the rest of this, continued on.
And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos at Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet.
So now no one wants this film. No one wants this documentary. Film festivals that had reached out and invited him there have now disinvited him after this Netflix controversy went down. So he's thanking Ted Sarandos for not canceling this, for leaving this up on the platform. The only one that hasn't canceled him, he says.
To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands.
Hell yeah. Yes, fuck yes, you will not summon me. I'm not bending to anyone's demands. Dave Chappelle's not going to bend the knee. He will not. He refuses.
And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end.
That's important. Not a lot of people have that are complaining about it.
You must come to a place of my choosing and a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gadsby is not funny.
And of course, Hannah Gadsby, the person who did a special for Netflix, obviously a member of the LGBT plus whatever community, who does not like Dave Chappelle and thinks what he says is threatening to her and has made comments about him in the past, things like that. She is not funny.
I desperately want people to see this movie, but I understand why investors would be nervous. Since nobody will touch it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make it available for all of you in 10 American cities, going on sale in the next few days. You will be able to see this movie in its entirety, and you can see what they're trying to obstruct you from seeing. And you can judge for yourself, but you cannot have this conversation and exclude my voice from it. That is only fair. You have to answer the question, am I canceled or not? Then let's go. Thank you very much and good night.
Wow. Listen to the crowd. Listen, Dave Chappelle is not only is a great comedian, but he is a great speaker. And I got chills, to be honest with you, listening to Am I Canceled? No, you will not exclude me from this. I will not be stopped. My message will get out there. Dave Chappelle is getting ready to do it his fucking self. If these companies don't want to work with him over a few jokes, over all these things, Dave Chappelle is going to make sure this gets seen. Dave Chappelle refuses to be canceled, refuses to have his voice left out. Absolutely powerful stuff from Dave Chappelle. And there's the plug for the fuck cancel culture over on my TeePublic. Absolutely. But incredible little 5 minutes there from Dave Chappelle, who is willing to talk to the trans community on his terms, but he will not bend the knee to anyone. And he absolutely refuses to be canceled. Incredible stuff. So we had to do a stream. We had to talk about that because holy shit. Stuff continues to come out each and every day, man. There are too many topics for us to cover. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're definitely going to cut that out and, put that out on the main channel at some point here in the next couple hours. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do this. My Nerdy Home for $5 with a mic drop. He literally dropped the mic. Literally fucking dropped the mic on that. Thank you, Steph. Benny Canuck says, what an absolute beauty. You're damn right, Benny. You're damn right. Yeah, that was awesome. It really was. And there's the fuck cancel culture. Let me pull that up, actually. So you guys can take a look at it. We do have fuck cancel culture merch up over on TeePublic. We got fuck cancel culture. We got the t-shirts, stickers, mugs, sweatshirts, all that stuff over on TeePublic. Steph just dropped the link. I need to get more stuff up there, but we do have it. It is available. It's been seen walking around New York City, in fact, over at that Dark Council meetup. So that was pretty cool. Michael Pranesti says the nut jobs don't want a convo with Dave Chappelle. They want to yell at him and record it for social media clout. 1000%. 1000% right, Michael. Yes, indeed. That is the truth. Thank you, Michael, for that. Steph did make that. I made that. You did indeed. All right, so we talked about that. Freaking Hannah Gadsby. What a fucking loser. And absolutely not funny. All right, we also need to talk about Batwoman. And this is going to be a little bit of the stuff I talked about yesterday, but we've got some additional stuff, and I want to show you how Ruby Rose has spurged out. And if you're asking why I have so many tabs open, people like Ruby Rose force me to have this many tabs open. All right. I have no choice when Ruby Rose does things like this. Let's do Sky and pull that one up real quick, because I probably could use this, except move this over. God, I got so many tabs. Okay. Good. We'll do USA Today. We'll pull that over. I just need a producer, really. I just need a producer. That's what I need. I see Naaman's here. What's up, Naaman's? All right, let's refresh over on Streamlabs. Make sure we're all caught up. Yep, we are all caught up. That's a good thing. And we can get into this Ruby Rose stuff. Ashlamir Preston is a hypocrite. Yeah, she is. She absolutely is. And I thought about talking about that right now. I might save that, because the other Dave Chappelle stuff is definitely a definitely bigger thing to talk about. Are the stories Ruby Rose state is true? Does she truly know it went down behind the Batwoman failure production? The thing with Ruby Rose is I think some of what she says has a lot of root in truth, but also a lot of it's fucking skewed. And that's what we're going to talk about now. See all these tabs? These are all Ruby Rose Instagram stories. Like, geez, like so much shit from Ruby Rose. And we're not going to read through all these. Like, we can't. No human being could read through all these. This is a Hollywood actor who says they have a ton of work. So we'll get into it. This is all in like an hour fucking period. She's crazy. Ever since Ruby Rose went public with a series of allegations against not only Warner Brothers, but the CW, and specifically the production over Batwoman, it's been kind of crazy, because Warner Brothers immediately came out and said, listen, this is not how we see it. This is not what happened. Ruby Rose was fired for misconduct, even though we said we could do amicably and everyone could walk away. We would just recast, do something else. No, that wasn't enough for Ruby Rose. She has continued to come hard after Batwoman. And after garnering some sympathy, now a lot of people from Batwoman themselves are starting to push back on Ruby Rose and say, no, Ruby Rose is a liar. A lot of that stuff did not happen, from production staff to co-stars, and of course from Warner Brothers themselves. When all of this went down and Ruby Rose claimed misconduct on Batwoman, a lot of people wanted to believe at least some of it. We've seen this with Warner Brothers before. We know what happened on the set of Justice League. But in that case, not only did you have Ray Fisher, but you had Jason Momoa, you had Gal Gadot, you had so many people, basically confirming that a lot of these things did happen. That isn't so with Batwoman. And in fact, it's kind of been the opposite. Ruby Rose claims misconduct on Batwoman. Warner Brothers says it fired her for workplace behavior. And then we started seeing co-stars coming out and saying the same thing. This is Cameron Johnson, who plays Luke Fox. Bat fam, I couldn't go the whole day without saying something. I love y'all. Don't think I haven't seen all the love today. But yeah, fam, she was fired. And it's very hard to be fired when you're the lead. Imagine what you have to do for that to happen. Since it was claimed she, quote, walked away last year, I'm sure some of you may be pretty confused or upset, and even more so that a lot of lies were spread today. Just know that we have great souls working on this show, and none of this changes that from top to bottom. Love y'all, and West Coast fam, enjoy the new episode of Batwoman starring Javicia Leslie in T-minus 4 minutes. So that's a co-star coming out and shitting on her after staying quiet the entire time. But then Ruby Rose randomly decides to spill a whole lot of tea and accuse a lot of people of a lot of things. And people start coming out against her. Warner Brothers has now defended Dougray Scott from following further social media allegations from former Batwoman star Ruby Rose. She said that Dougray Scott was a terror on set, that everybody hates him, all of these things. This is what Warner Brothers says. And this, of course, is about someone who is bounced from production, who wanted nothing more to do with it, that they shouldn't really have any more loyalty to. Warner Brothers says this: we condemn the comments made by Ruby Rose about Dougray Scott. Warner Brothers has found Mr. Scott to be a consummate professional, never received any allegation against him of bullying or abusive behavior on his part. Mr. Scott was greatly respected and admired by his colleagues and was a leader on set. Warner Brothers did not pick up Ruby Rose's option for an additional season because of multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed by the studio. And more is now coming out. Again, this is coming from, of course, Warner Brothers, but now it's coming from co-stars. Now we have it coming from people on the production staff at the low level, people that are on set that witnessed Ruby Rose day in, day out. What do they say? And this story is really what set Ruby Rose off on Instagram. We're going to go over some of these stories. Look at this freak out by Ruby Rose. An absolute freak out of incredible proportions, dropping DMs, dropping emails, all of these things, because she's incredibly defensive after coming out and trying to cancel a bunch of people on this set. Batwoman crew member speaks out, calls Ruby Rose a dictator. Holy shit. The first rebuttal was Warner Brothers, followed by Cameron Johnson. Now, the testimony of a production assistant from season 1 named Alexander J. Baxter had provided detail of even more scandal. Again, this is not someone who is currently on staff at CW or with Batwoman. It's just someone who worked with her in season 1 and felt the need to speak out when all these things started happening. In a statement given to CBR, Baxter asserted that while he was initially excited about the opportunity due to being a DC fan, the experience soon went sour. Little did I know of the hell that awaited me on those sets. Continuing, he said everyone was professional and nice except for Ruby Rose. The production company was professional, dialed in, and in every way fantastic. The crew was lovely, hardworking, dedicated to countless night shoots. It sounded to be an amazing experience in the making. Then came Ruby Rose. From day one, where a supposed injury stopped her from doing 60% of her job, she began her first day on the show not acknowledging a single crew member besides anyone above the line. Baxter further alleges that Rose treated PAs, grips, and crew below the line like they were beneath her boots. So the people that make this production run, we're hearing a lot about these types of people in the Alec Baldwin situation, but people that are doing the camera, people that are doing the audio, people that are cleaning up on set, all of these things. Ruby Rose treated them like dog shit. She stormed off set. She yelled at people whenever she interacted with any of us production assistants. We were disregarded as the trash we picked up. He then recalled two incidents. One where Rose giggled at the crew for setting up heaters and a snack table in her green room. Then another when she spilled some food, looked at Baxter, and then walked on, leaving him to clean up her mess. That's what it felt like working beneath Ruby, cleaning up her mess. She never thanked us, only made demands that left us all exhausted emotionally and physically. It's at this point Baxter begins calling her a dictator and reveals how high she was the entire time. She didn't care about how long we waited for her and made sure everyone was perfect and ready. She just cared about her personal party lifestyle. Keep in mind, Ruby Rose is blaming it all on drugs that she took after her surgery, all these things. This sounds like it is an assortment of drugs, and not due to recovery from an injury, but due to her partying. That's interesting, isn't it? From the moment we started the show, she made every new person that came on feel uneasy and unsupported. She was a horrible star and made so many of us feel like we were helping make a show for a dictator. When Rose went public with her accusations, Baxter was infuriated because, having been there, I don't want to stand by and let her badmouth the company that she tried to screw over. Rose previously argued that the work environment on the set of Batwoman was unsafe, pointing to both her own neck injury and the apparent paralyzation of a production assistant who was injured, and she claimed a stuntman got so badly burned his face melted off. You would think that we would have heard about that, but no, that's just Ruby Rose that saw that. And then, of course, we talked about what Cameras Johnson said as well. This set Ruby Rose off. She freaked out. This is her on Instagram. She starts leaking, right? She starts leaking emails. She starts leaking a series of emails between people. TikTok. This isn't even in the report. Just reminding you I'm still here and you have an opportunity to change things. Talking about people that are reporting on this, saying that, talking about the people reporting and the people at CW, because she wants to see change. She wants an apology or something from them. Greg Berlanti, a nice email. Someone that she shit on. She's now releasing all these people's private emails to her. Off to bed, but deciding between releasing Caroline's email about not being an LGBT activist or feminist, but saying she could be one for others through the show. Monetizing gays is how she found the desire to make people feel included. She's trying to cancel people. This is what Ruby Rose is doing. Because she's not getting enough attention, because she feels wrong, because she feels like it's unfair. Off to bed, but no. 20 Instagram stories later, thanking Bella Thorne. Here you go, leaking more of Caroline's emails. And these emails aren't doing anything, right? Like, these emails aren't showing anything or proving anything that she's saying. It's just private messages. There's nothing damning in here. There's nothing that she's actually saying. She just shares their emails and then says, well, this is a person that's saying this stuff, but I know the truth. That type of thing. It's nonsensical. Also, as a showrunner who I went to about a no yelling memo to then offload it to a director who wasn't even directing that episode. Also, a PA got a concussion that day and an extra cut got hit in the head with a crane. Things happen on sets when you're doing stunts. Thanking Bella Thorne for supporting her. More emails, right? More emails. Her showing that she has a scar. She's leaking her text from Cameras Johnson. Here's my scar. He says, the sickest scar. LOL. As reading part of the covers, I went, oh, nah, out loud. I'm so glad you turned them down for now. That crap would have sucked, especially right. Heal up the right way and you'll be back to playing it in no time. This is coming back to her saying, I got forced back to this show too soon. That part, I'll say for Ruby Rose, that portion might be true. I think that she probably was forced to come back sooner than she felt comfortable with, sooner than she was 100% healthy, because they were trying to film a show. And they threatened to recast her if she didn't. So she decided to go ahead and do it. Maybe not the best way to do business. Maybe not the best way for someone to behave. I will give her that. However, the rest of her allegations and what goes along with that, come on, man. It's just nonsensical. So she continues to call out the person who interviewed this production assistant. Did not one person at CBR even do due diligence about this person who only does no one I spoke to at Batwoman know of, isn't on anyone the season 1 Batwoman call sheets, and isn't credited on IMDb with any association with my show? This is a low-level person. It's not surprising, Ruby Rose, that you don't know who they are, because clearly you don't care about anyone. And she continues to freak out and spurg out over and over and over again. Look at this, dude. And again, this shows nothing. This shows nothing anyway at all. It's basically like, hey, we had some safety concerns on set, Ruby. Thanks for letting us know. That's it. But none of the harassment, none of the things that Ruby Rose is specifically talking about, There's no proof in here. It's just her freaking out. And it is obviously, she's obviously very defensive about this and trying to get her career back. That's what this is. It's some way to try to salvage her career, which is failing. She then shows a bunch of pictures of her with a scar. Yes, we know, Ruby Rose. We know you had spinal surgery. No one's debating that. Why are you doing this? Yes, look, you received injuries on set while you were doing stunts, while you were doing things. That happens especially to tiny 90-pound women who aren't cut out for this, who aren't trained well, who don't show up to work ready to go, who don't memorize their lines, who don't memorize their fighting moves. She's trying to blame everybody and take no responsibility whatsoever. And the more and more people associated with the show that come out and say what Ruby Rose is saying is non-existent, the dumber that she is going to look. And I'm all for that. I think that both Warner Brothers and Ruby Rose are trash, but I think it's pretty clear that although Ruby Rose has some legitimate concerns about some of the behaviors, that she's blowing everything out of proportion and wants to blame everybody and cancel everybody but herself. And I'm not down with that, which is why I'm saying fuck Ruby Rose. Everybody is coming out and trashing her right now, and I think it's deserved. But had to go through that because a few more things came out since yesterday. All right. I saw a couple super chats. Her in the Steadfast for Canadian $20. I will actually miss this show, EFAP's coverage, as his reviews, and Jay Longbone's coverage. It's so entertaining. That's what I hear about a lot. That people way prefer to just hear people shit on it than actually watch it in general. Gerald Arms, and thank you, Her in the Steadfast. I really appreciate the $20 super chat, man. Thank you. Gerald Armstrong for $5. I would be happy that she opened her mouth if I were the producers of Batwoman. I mean, I think that for a couple hour period, people are like, oh, look at this. Ruby Rose trashes Batwoman. But then you look into the details and you see that a lot of her stuff doesn't line up and she's just trying to be the victim in everything. And you realize that, okay, maybe this isn't quite what we thought it was. And I agree, Outlaw. I agree. Tom Cruise is a legend when it comes to stunts. He's fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. All right. I think we're all caught up there. Let's refresh this. This is not going to be a long stream today. I just wanted to do a couple things. And I think maybe, if you guys want, I think, oh man, I'm still waiting for this. I hope that John's show goes off okay. I want to show you guys this. I've got a channel that I want you guys to sub to in a couple seconds here. I mean, so they can retort her accusations. I think so too. Like, I think that they were happy when she came out and did this because now they feel free to talk shit about her. It's obvious that everyone on set hated her. It really is. That her co-stars thought she was annoying, that all the production staff did not like her, she didn't treat them with respect, so they didn't respect her. And she's just trying to shit on everybody that she can because she's bitter she's not part of the show anymore. Let's see here. So guys, this is where I'm going to send you. And if you don't stay, that's fine. You don't have to stay. My friend John Bartolo is about to have a big guest on, Buck Sexton. He's a radio personality. He does Buck Sexton and Clay Travis. Actually, he does the time slot that Rush Limbaugh did for so long. Buck Sexton is awesome. Really think he's a cool guy. And I love John Bartolo. John is about to have him, right? John is about to have him on his podcast. It should be started any time now. I was hoping the stream would be going so I could send you there. But either way, I'm going to share this link with you guys. And so you can go over there straight from this stream. Go there, sub to him, put your notifications on. Hopefully he goes live soon. But if not, you'll at least know where he's at and know where to find him. Because John is a great guy, and I hope you guys all support him. It'd be awesome to just flood that chat. Make that chat big for Buck Sexton, who's a really cool guy. Go here. Yeah, former CIA turned talk show host. Yes, exactly. So I'll put that in the chat. Put that in the chat. I'm actually going to pin that. I'm going to pin that comment so you guys can go there. I appreciate you guys showing up. I just wanted to cover a quick couple things because they're going to split them out into a couple videos today. But I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you. We are growing RK Outpost. We're growing Geeks and Gamers. We're growing Sports Wars. Onwards and upwards. Everything is good. I see Stoic Lion say RK Outpost Live is grinding. We are all grinding. We are all grinding. So go here, follow this link, turn your notifications on, turn your reminders on for that stream. Show John Bartolo some love because he definitely deserves it. He needs more subs. He needs to grow that show. He's big on Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. He deserves to be big on YouTube too because he has great guests and great conversations. But that is it for me, guys. I will talk to you later. Thank you guys for being here. Peace.